Welcome into Bleacher Talk. I'm Jordan Spurgeon alongside Claudia Collins, and this is our high school preview show. We do this every single week. We have the amazing Bruce Cooper with us. We're going to share some awesome stories from all over the valley. We've got Eliav Gabai, our teammate who does Social Spotlight with us. So one thing about us, Claudia, I know you agree, we have fun. We like to have fun. We're not going to sit here and talk too much X's and O's, maybe a little bit in quick picks, but we like to have fun here.
You're going to see a little bit of everything on Bleacher Talk. Yes, we're going to make some picks and some games, maybe upset some people, but we always make up for it, I promise. And Eliav Gabai always does such a nice job with our Social Spotlight segment. But this is a great time to just jump right into quick picks and let you guys know where we're at. Spurge right now has the lead at 21-3, Bruce Cooper at 19-5, and I'm at 16-8. We all went 3-0 last week. Might try to switch things up so I can catch up a little bit here, but let's jump into the first matchup, which is a fun one. Chandler at Basha. Spurge, make your pick.
This is going to be a fun game. Chandler, Basha, 2 times last year. Basha got the better of them. And this year, both teams with only 1 loss on the season. So it's going to be a really, really interesting matchup. It comes down to one thing to me. Quarterback position, Damon Williams, the entire offense is built around him at Basha. He's got the experience. He's an open division champion. They're defending their title this year. So I like everything that Basha has to offer. I think Chandler's secondary is arguably the top secondary in the state, and there's some great defenses that we see in this state, but I just think Damon Williams, end of the game, I trust him more so than I trust any other player in the state. So right now, give me Basha over Chandler 24-20.
Wow, I am not going to lie. That is the exact same score that I have written down as my pick here. I don't have too much more to add. You talk about Basha, it's an immediate. You're talking about Damon Williams Jr. You're talking about that offense. They've got an incredible defense. What this is going to come down to is how much the Chandler defense can stop Damon. I think Chandler's one of the teams that can do it. Chandler's only losses to Centennial. Like I said, same score, 24-20. Give me the Bears. Coop, chance to catch up with Spurge here. You going Chandler?
Well, let's put it like this. Both teams are coming off bye weeks. And so, that Rick Garrison over at Chandler's been putting in some extra film work. Likewise, Chris McDonald over at Basha. Certainly revenge is on Chandler's side after losing in the regular season and the open playoffs of Basha. But I think Spurge hit the nail on the head when he talked about Damon Williams. I mean, he's the ultimate dual threat quarterback. He has over 600 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns on the ground. Through the air, he's completing 75% of his passes, nearly 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns, so only 2 interceptions. He is a weapon. And look, Blake Heffron's done a really good job over at Chandler, but you have to go with the not only the experience, but just the multi-talented Damon Williams and Basha. I do agree that he'll be the difference. I think it'll be a close game too. I'm going to go Basha 30, Chandler 28.
All right, the next matchup, a fun one. We've got Saguaro at Liberty. I'll go ahead and start this one off. Unfortunately, Saguaro is just not the same Saguaro team we saw last season. Obviously, that was an open division championship appearance team. Lots of change, new head coach. Saguaro's 2 in-state losses, though, are against Basha and Centennial. So I think Saguaro is a really, really talented team, and I'm really excited to see where they're at another year or 2 ahead and more used to their new culture and new situation. Liberty has it all figured out. I mean, I think that's one thing we know about Liberty this season. Navi Bruzan is incredible. And the only way that I can make this pick is by going high scoring, because both of these teams have been high scoring teams all season long. Liberty hasn't scored less than 42 points all season, and Saguaro hasn't scored less than 31. So I'm going to go 42-31 Liberty. All right, Coop, you make your pick.
Well, look, you talked about the coaching change from Jason Munns to Zach Hill, and naturally there's going to be some, little growing pains there. This isn't about Saguaro. This is about Liberty. Liberty is just a machine. I mean, they're just too loaded up. Gardner, just a big play weapon at wide receiver. John Wilson, just a stud at running back. I mean, just too many weapons. I see Liberty winning this one rather convincingly. I'm going to go 45 Liberty, 20 Saguaro.
All right, Spurge, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, the big one in this one, Liberty has pretty much put a running clock on every single team in Arizona this season. They have. And Saguaro's going to miss the Open for the first time since the Open's been around. Last year, they got in with 3 losses. This is going to be loss number 4. If they beat Liberty, by the way, 3 losses should get them in the Open. I will say that now. If they beat Liberty, I don't care about 3 losses. They beat Liberty, get them in the Open. They belong there. But just don't think it's going to happen. Mason Bray is out for Saguaro. Liberty is just a well-oiled machine right now. Saguaro will maybe not get the clock run on them in this game. So give me Liberty over the SaberCats, 45-28.
Next matchup, Williams Field at Perry. Spurge, I'm going to let you start.
I mean, both programs are in great positions. Steve Campbell's got his team working at Williams Field. Dylan Lee is one of the top, if not the top running backs in the state. Over there at Perry, Coach Ortiz has completely shifted the culture. I know Coop has done a story over there with Coach Ortiz, and I'm excited to watch that, but I know that the culture has been shifted completely. They're a team that, even though, you know, the likes of a Saguaro, a Hamilton, a Highland could be in the 6A this year, which is unlike them after the creation of the Open Division, Perry's a team that could still find themselves at Sun Devil Stadium at the end of the year. I would not be surprised if they find a way to get in there depending how the cards fall. But in this week's game against Williams Field, I am going to pick them 27-21.
All right, Coop, with a little bit of an inside scoop after last week, who you going with?
Well, look, I'm sold on the job that Coach Ortiz has done. I spent some time with him and his football team. I mean, he came to the creme de la creme region, the premier region, and Steve Campbell. I mean, he's just an intense coach over there at Williamsville. You can never ever sell short the Blackhawks. But I'm going to do it this week. I'm going to take Perry 30, Williamsville 28.
I might have to just be different here to do it and give myself a chance. I know I go back and forth on this, but I will start with saying Perry is a team that I see with a real solid shot at winning the 6A this season. I've been really impressed with Perry for all the reasons that y'all have said. Their only losses to Hamilton. The rest of their schedule is a gauntlet. I mean, they've got Chandler, I believe, coming up, and Basha. So seeing how they fare against those top 2 tier teams will be really interesting. Always impressed by the Blackhawks. They've got 2 quarterbacks, Xavier Buckles and Cody Guy. I know that they've done good work this season. I wanted to pick Perry, but I wanted it to be close. So I guess I'm okay going Williams Field to be a little different here. And I'll make it a close one, 21-19, and hopefully give myself a shot here. Coop, always love having you on with all the knowledge you have. Stick around. Coming up on Bleacher Talk, we're going to see how art meets football and a little bit more with our social spotlight coming up. Stick around. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Bleacher Talk. I'm Claudia Collins alongside Jordan Spurgeon. And coming up now, I'm going to introduce you to a dad I just saw on the sidelines live painting a football game. And I just had to ask more questions. And his story is honestly super cool. I really hope you enjoy it.
I'm so curious about that, Claudia, like just seeing that on the sidelines. And now it's this whole story. So excited for all of you to see that. But first, we teased it a little bit in quick picks with Bruce Cooper. Coop's Chronicles. He does amazing stories every week. You can find them on our sports360az.com website. This week, he caught up with Joseph Ortiz, the head coach over at Perry, to find out how he's changed the culture over there.
Yeah, mic'd up, bro. Hey, KYP, know your Pumas.
There's a new pep in his step.
You would be a terrible interviewer.
Excitement in his voice.
Woo! Don Mother-loving Tinsley right there.
And energy in his program. For head coach Joseph Ortiz, year 2 at Perry High School is a complete 180 from last year.
Hey, lineman.
Hey, Coach.
Team.
You gonna call us fat again today?
No, why would I ever do that?
No doubt, he raised an eyebrow or two when he left a solid Cactus High School football program for one that hadn't had a winning season since the graduation of the Purdy brothers.
For everyone you make in, I'll do 10 push-ups. Not consecutively, though. It was a tough decision because we were building something really good at Cactus, and they're doing a great job right now continuing that. But this was just a decision that I made for just for the betterment of life decision as well, financially and all that. But to come out in the Premier region is where you want to be and where you want to compete at. Hey, if you're not in, back up 5 more.
Despite a difficult year 1, Ortiz never once second-guessed his decision.
No, I never regretted it. I knew this was going to be a process, and I was in it for the long haul. Year 1 was year 1, just trying to adapt out here, and the kids adapting to us, and we made some necessary changes throughout the program, and more emphasis in the weight room, and it changed. You could see the change in it year 2. Okay, now they will press occasionally on the backside. We made a concerted effort in December to focus in the weight room and bring our culture, hang out more, making sure we were a tight group and we were going to battle together. And we used the words relentless and scrappy all off season and all summer, and it's kind of showing on the field right now that we're relentless and scrappy, and we've just been playing really well. I think we're number 2 in the state in offense and number 8 in the state in defense, so we're just the kids are just believing in what we're doing. On our screen game, we got to get good at this. We repped it yesterday.
And the players have bought in, grown in confidence and expectations.
That finesse. Thank you, TJ.
We have it on our shirts when we walk out of the bus, and we wear it to school. It says one family, one team. It's been our goal the whole year. We stay as a family, and we know we can play as one, and that's what's going to get the job done.
That's first throw.
I thought you said you didn't need a warm-up. Okay, we want to throw right at this hash.
Something we've never experienced before, and we're excited for the future. Excited to see what we can do in the playoffs.
Perfect. I'm more happy for our kids and our community. I'm just blessed that they picked me to be the guy, and they trusted our vision and my vision as the head coach. But it's awesome seeing how happy they are.
We just stare right at the camera. Right in.
You guys are clowns. Good.
The reason that I live draw is because it catches the energy of what is going on better than me taking a photograph and going back into my studio and working on something when nobody else is around. So my desire has always been, I want to be engaged in the things that are going on. So what I try to do is I will kind of survey everything that's going on, see what might be a good moment. So I actually went to college for animation, illustration, advertising and design, those kinds of things. So I did that, and I actually worked in animation for a couple of years. I got a chance to go in and visit Fox Feature when it was here, and realized that the animators were still at their desk at 8:30 at night, and I had just gotten married, and I was like, I don't know whether that's going to be a good fit. So I actually walked away from art completely and did other things for 25 years. During COVID, I was working at home, as many people were, but I was grading papers online for one of the universities. And the more that I did that, the more that I felt like this just didn't fit me. And I was realizing that, anxiety and a variety of other things were going on in my life, that it just kept getting worse and it wasn't getting any better. And I needed something. And a friend of mine who knew that my background said, have you thought about getting back into art? And I said, well, it's been 25 years. I mean, everything's changed, but it kind of stuck with me. And so I said, it's not going to hurt to get those things out again. And so I tried, and it actually helped calm my brain down a little bit. And as a result, I just started looking at, okay, what else can I do? So every weekend I started going out. I'm an introvert by nature, so I was drawing everywhere that I went then, because it was actually calming my brain down enough that I could focus on other things as well. My son plays football, and I was trying to find ways to connect with him more and more, and this was one of those ways. So I started coming to the games as much as I could, and because I draw everywhere, I was drawing when I was at the games. And the more that I was doing it, the more that I got familiar with, how to communicate the action that was actually happening and all those things, and started to see, okay, I could do this. So I started doing it here and then posting it online in different forums for ALA, and more people were interested in what I was doing and why I was doing it. So I ended up selling a couple of pieces to the school and a variety of other people, and said, okay, so this is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this. So I started to ask, okay, what other sports can I get involved in? So I'm starting to branch out now and go into other things other than football. This actually helps me pay attention to what's going on and engage in the beauty that I do see, and the strength of these players and all the things that they put into it that most of us don't see. We just see them play. But I know from my son how much work he puts into that. Art for me is one of the ways that I engage with the world better. And if I can communicate things that are actually going to help other people to enjoy that, that's why I do this. Ultimately, the thing for me is just to recognize that it's never too late to follow the passions that you have. It's easy for us to get caught up in our day-to-day lives and the things that we've been told. I was told forever, art's never going to make any money. And because it's a passion, it's hard for people to see that. But it is something that can. And ultimately, money is not really what this is about. So I would just encourage people to really follow through with doing what's their passion, because everyone benefits when we do that, as opposed to just doing what we think we need to do.
If you want to check out more of Michael Feather's work, find him on Instagram at 13colorsart. Definitely a lot of really cool work there. Now stick around. Coming up, Eliav Gabai will have our social spotlight segment.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Bleacher Talk. This is Social Spotlight, and I am Eliav Gabai. Let's start things off in South Bend, where USC took on Notre Dame, and Jordy Ham put this up on Twitter. Benjamin Morrison picking off Caleb Williams, the Brophy alum. 8 interceptions in a year and a half in college, and there he is, picking off one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. Way to go and way to represent Brophy. Let's keep it at the same game where Coach Dana Zupke of Pioneer Football got to link up with some of his guys after the game from both teams. We got Tosh Baker for Notre Dame. We got Dorian Singer, Deuce Robinson, and Elijah Page for the Trojans. This is always what it's all about. Don't sleep on Arizona high school football, making it at the next level. Now, let me show you the best play I saw from this past weekend. Shout out to Eric Sorensen, our teammate at Sports 360 AZ, for putting this up on social media. Dalen Sharper takes this screen pass all the way to the house. What a great play to get the second half going. First possession of the second half put Brophy up 21-0. Shout out Dalen Sharper, making his squad look good right off the bat. Now, we always talk about, okay, who's going to be that next big defensive player out of Arizona? And it could be Mr. Hudson Dunn, linebacker for Liberty. Thank you, Cody Cameron, for shouting him out, because he deserves it. I mean, racked up 30 tackles, 8.5 sacks, has forced 2 fumbles, all in his sophomore campaign, and it's not even done yet. College coaches, we've told it to you before. We'll say it again. You got to look at Arizona high school football for some of this talent, because it's all over the place. We just went over it this entire segment. Tons of AZ high school football stars making it at the next level. You better catch somebody like Hudson now, because he's going to start getting those letters, and he's going to deserve it. So for everybody at Bleacher Talk, this has been Social Spotlight. I'm Eliav Gabai, and we will see you next time.
Awesome stuff, Eliav. If you want your stuff featured on Bleacher Talk, make sure to tag Sports 360 AZ on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the things. We love it all, and we would love to see you featured on Bleacher Talk. Thanks for sticking around for another week. Hopefully this is my week to make it back in quick picks, but Spurge, we're always having a good time, aren't we?
Yeah, Claudia's climbing the ladder in quick picks. She's telling some great stories. We got Bruce Cooper all over the show. So much fun. We're getting closer and closer to playoff football on Friday nights. So keep it right here on Bleacher Talk on Sports 360 AZ. We'll see you next week.